After Aira gets her yokai powers, do you think she's still the same? Sure, she becomes friends with Momo and Okarun, but inside she's still the same girl, right? What if her transformation actually changed her so much that she became a different person entirely? Think about it. Pre-transformation Aira constantly thinks she's special.
I must have been chosen. I'm being told to go forth and save this world from all evil.
And she thinks being special gives her the right to toy with other people's feelings.
It's fun having dorks like him drool over me.
This makes her initial personality very clear. She believes her popularity gives her immunity from consequences. But fast forward to episode 10 and we have this.
I spread all those lies about her. Huh? Wait, you lied? What I did was wrong. So please don't say anything bad about her.
This goes against everything she stands for, a complete 180 on her motivations as a character. For Aira, exposing herself like this is the equivalent of an ego death. So what caused her to change in such a drastic way like that? Welcome to a running series called Understanding Dandadan. My name is Kepler, and today we're talking about how a near-death experience changed Aira into a better person. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and becoming a member to support the channel. So what Aira used to value in her first appearance? When she tricked Okarun with fake kindness, what was she trying to accomplish? In this case, I don't think she's tricking him just for the sake of deception. Aira is a logical extrovert, someone who seeks social connections, but approaches them like they are puzzles to solve. She cracked the social code in such a way that she completely knows how to manipulate boys and girls into submission. A type of submission that comes willingly after someone is charmed by her hyper-likable, hyper-friendly mask. So Aira values connections, not in quality but in quantity. Connections that provide validation and social status. This makes Aira a lot more like Quinta than you might think. This comparison seems very unusual. They look and act nothing alike. So let me explain. Aira sits in the opposite side of the social hierarchy compared to Quinta, but they are both using the same tools to navigate social life. Quinta approaches social interactions like a puzzle. He believes popularity comes from saying the right things and acting a certain way, even if that way isn't who he truly is inside. Aira thinks the same thing, the only difference is that she succeeded. The only thing she has different from Quinta in terms of strategy is timing. During the kaiju fight, Aira says this.
If you must cause a scene, mind the time and place. If you fail to, you will never be popular!
This may seem out of place in the middle of a battle, but it expresses a deep belief Aira has about interactions. And we've seen how Quinta himself proved her point by failing catastrophically because of his terrible timing.
10-gallon wiener!
They are so far apart in social success that these little interactions take on a different meaning.
Who is he?
Leave it to me!
Who are you?
For Aira, who treats popularity like currency, Quinta is basically the brokest person on earth. He's invisible and should be treated as if he doesn't exist. The irony is that Aira is basically Quinta if he were socially smart. She cracked the social code that Quinta is trying to understand and can trick anyone into not only friendship, but goes a step further, turning her entire class into essentially her fans. And just like Quinta, she probably started out as a socially clueless kid, mimicking the successful to learn how to be popular. I'm assuming she used mimicking based on the way she approaches her attraction to Okarun. Aira never tried to confess to anyone, so in this regard, she's as inexperienced as Quinta. So what does she do when she wants to learn how to confess? She reads books and watches movies about how it should be. And this is where we discover how clueless she actually is about common sense. Her purely logical mimicking fails to catch the social cues that come in an interaction like this. The result is a wrestling fight and an attempt to forcibly kiss Okarun. With zero experience in love, she fails at confessing just as much as Quinta fails at being popular. When we have a person who basically grinded her whole life to go from zero to idol in the school circle using only her deduction and mimicking, it becomes a big deal when he chooses to give all that away for the sake of truth. This scene is far more meaningful for her development than most people realize. It feels natural because it is the right thing to do, but Aira here is essentially assassinating her own status. For the sake of truth and fairness, she becomes worse off than Quinta, because now she isn't just passively invisible like him, she becomes hated by her class, which places her at a negative value in the metric she created herself about a person's worth. So it becomes clear that Aira from chapter 6 and Aira from chapter 10 are completely different people, one essentially betraying the other. So what happened? Why did she change? And what happens to the mind of a person who died and managed to come back. An NDE, or near-death experience, is a psychological event as much as a physical one. Interviews with people who went through this experience reveal overlapping insights present in almost all of them, the most important being a complete overview and re-evaluation of one's lives and values. During the Acrobat Silky's battle, Aira not only experiences an NDE, she also connects with her at a spiritual level. Through her resurrection, Aira saw her memories, and just like Gigi learned to empathize with the Evil Eye's suffering, Aira empathized with Acrobat Silky, but while Gigi saw the life of a kid whose childhood was replaced with confinement, Aira saw the life of a woman who dedicated every moment of her existence to taking care of a single person. Through Acrobat Silky's memories, Aira experienced the strongest form of love that exists, the love of a mother towards her child. And while Gigi made the decision to forsake his agency to give the Evil Eye a childhood he never had, Aira didn't get the same choice, because Acrobat Silky used all her spiritual energy to bring Aira back to life. So after experiencing loss through someone else's eyes and her own, Aira realized what real love means, not from the quantity of connections you have, but from how deep those connections go. She saw unconditional love being poured into someone who wasn't trying to impress, wasn't living lies, and wasn't hiding behind a mask. And she realized this is how it should be. So what exactly changed in her personality? The Aira we are seeing now is midway through a complete flip in motivation. No longer hiding behind a mask, when it comes to Okarun and Momo, she's slowly becoming comfortable showing her ugly side without the fear of rejection. Their friendship is not held together by a facade, but by the struggles and experiences they went through together. One of the most important moments that symbolizes this transition is when Momo invites Okarun and Aira to a sleepover. In that scene, Okarun gives a strong reaction because a sleepover means a step that will deepen their relationship. And at the same time, Aira is basically thinking the same toward Okarun and Momo. But the key part comes after she accepts the invite.
If there's a problem between you and your friends because of me, we don't have to hang out.
It's not about you, I promise. Whatever it is my fault.
Aira completely realizes she changed, and that if her classmates hate her now, it's completely her fault. This is the polar opposite of the initial Aira, who claimed herself to be perfect or the chosen one. On the surface, she still carries that attitude as an old habit, but inside her beliefs are completely different. She's frustrated at her own past self and performed what is basically an assassination of her fake image by exposing something unforgivable she did, and then faces the consequences without blaming anyone. So why did she start valuing genuine connections, truth, and fairness more than whatever she previously had with her classmates? Aira realized all her relationships were fake. Not only because they were complementing an engineered version of her, but also because they were shallow. This is the trap she fell into when, like Quinta, she started looking for the right social code to be popular. She got what she wanted, but lost what she had: the ability to connect with others using her authentic self. When you build a fake image and it catches on, you're trapped. Tell the truth and people turn on you. Keep the lie and you'll get praise that feels hollow. The attention curve flattens fast. 5 people noticing feels real. 50 feels about the same. And by the time it's 500 or 5,000, the difference is mostly cosmetic. This is loneliness in crowds. Past a point, you stop seeing individuals and you just see a crowd. The connection you started chasing gets harder and harder to feel. Aira's development arc is about realizing the joy of authentic, deep connection and shifting focus from popularity towards friends you love so much you can call them family. The character standing at the deep end of that path, and the one who can basically become a role model for every character in the anime, is Seiko. Seiko, being the only adult in the main cast, carries the important role of mentorship, but the contradiction is that her love language is service. In Seiko, I see a difficulty in putting feelings into words. Instead, she constantly expresses love through hospitality, food, and protection. Her stoic demeanor is even more apparent when the house gets destroyed. She never blames anyone and isn't even angry. When she accepted the Evil Eye into her family, she was ready to face the consequences, just like when she helped Okarun. The true leadership Aira seeks doesn't come from forced authority, but from servitude. Paradoxically, Seiko is the ultimate leader and authority in the group because she gives way more than she takes. Okarun felt as if he was in debt to her and tried to repay with money, but for Seiko, helping someone is not a currency to exchange. She does it because it's right, and by not looking for compensation, she builds a level of respect that cannot be compared with the shallow popularity Aira had with her classmates. Aira's growth comes from letting go of her ego and starting over from zero, forming connections the right way, one at a time, not with the goal of building a following, but of deepening the roots of love in her friends' hearts. If you empathize with Aira and find yourself in a similar situation, maybe you can still get out of the popularity trap in a less tragic way. First, shift your focus from the crowd to one of the closest friends you have. Open up to this person about what you really feel. Prioritize hanging out with that person instead of a larger group. If you simply stop feeding the popularity machine, it will eventually fade away. So don't bother deconstructing your previous image. Allow yourself to fade into normality, while you focus on connecting authentically with one person. If you manage to do it slowly, the shift won't cause a ruckus, and you will be in a much better place than our girl Aira currently is. I wasn't particularly popular in school, so I can't help you as much as I wish I could. But generally, the shift from fake to authentic needs to be slow and with the right people from your group. I hope this video managed to help you with that. See you next time.